These are the class rules for my class. Number 1, let me introduce myself. I am Engineer Leo Victor B. Amores. I graduate of Industrial Engineering from the University of San Carlos, batch 2011. And I am a part-time teacher on the Industrial Engineering Department since 2018. Also, I am working as a logistics planner for San Miguel Brewery for 10 years. So, a brief background on our course. Basically, this is engineering economics, which is in other terms as Econ. So, for group 4, your class is TTH and Saturdays, 9 to 12 p.m. Well, majority of you are already in the Facebook group. The Google Class link is already, I think, na member na tanan. So, for consultation hours, you can basically consult or contact me through my messenger. And then as much as possible, I'll try to answer all of your questions and queries within 24 hours, if kaya. And then, my email address is lvbaamores@usc.edu.ph. You can also see my Facebook account, kaya ako man ang admin sa Facebook group and my contact number. So, attendance. So, though attendance is not required for your Canvas class, it is highly encouraged. Ano man. There are some na akong i-discuss na might be clarified during the Q&A or the discussion jud kay naa ba. So, just in case you have any question, and as much as possible, I'll try to answer it on the synchronous na to na klase, no? So, by that way, you are able to learn ang inyong mga gilibugan and etc. Number 2, for attendance, strictly, I do not like to have any special exams. Why? Having special exams might affect the releasing of the grades of the whole class. So, kung kuan, on my part, I'll try to be efficient enough to make everything on time and I'll finish your summer class on time. So, ako I'm very kanang practical, or I'm very strict when it comes to submissions, no? Kay una, I don't wanna hamper the students nga na mupas good on time ba compared to the students na dili mupas on time. So, but given that chemical engineering students mo, so basically mga competitive na siya. So, for assignments, activities, and case studies, failure to submit will not automatically be 0, but it will be deducted 5% every day you are submitting it late. Not unless you are nakasubmit ka late for a very valid reason nga walay kuryente, naputlan, or na ay brown out, blackout, and etc. Please inform me beforehand so I can adjust your scores. And then, still, late submissions will be accepted for the whole span of the kanang course. Quizzes and major exams. Wait. Sorry. So, for quizzes, can you see my PowerPoint? Just to,
Yes, sir.
So, for quizzes and major exams, since nabasa naman mo sa syllabus, no, we have only 6 modules for the course. So, I will be having 4 modular quizzes. So, for every module, naatay module quiz. But in this case, supposedly, magod this week, you should have your module 1 quiz. So, I'll be merging it with your module 2 na module quiz by next week. So, you'll have only 4 module quizzes. And your major exams are only midterms and finals. Okay? All of those will be announced. No, so being unable to take, not unless you have a very valid reason, I'll merit you a 0 score. Okay? So, reassessment exams, just in case na ay hagbong, those grades that falls within 3.1 to 3.3, you are eligible to take a removal or a reassessment exam. But if you are not able to take the removal exam, automatically your grade will be 5.0. Also, Respondo's lockdown browser will be utilized on all major exams. Dili na lang nako na siya i-respondos on the mga module quiz. So I'll be utilizing Respondo's lockdown browser during midterms and finals. Okay? Any question or clarification?
Question lang, sir.
Yes.
Regarding Respondos, sir, ba, if ever sa major exam ka maka-experience game sudden power interruption,
No problem. I'll give you another attempt.
guys. Thank you, sir.
No problem na nako, as long as valid ang reason, I'll give you another attempt to retake, start from 0 ka. Okay?
Okay, sir.
Ay
Thank you.
kayo hagbungon ta mo without the very reason ba nga wala mo naka-answer. So under normal circumstances, you are to take the exam on the same circumstances on all of the students. So kung unsa ang ilang lead time sa time, same mo tanan. Fair and square. Okay. Any questions? So regarding your attendance, Panday, regarding your attendance, on the chat portion, kindly comment your name and ID number para I'll be checking your attendance after the session. While ongoing man gud nagpa-appeal ang sige join ang uban, I'm already checking the attendance in Canvas. But for those nga na late and for all na lang po para po ma-clarify po tanan, kindly write your name and ID number. Any questions with regarding your class roles? Naabay students diri having problems with Respondo's lockdown browser? Wala ra? So assuming nga wala ra problema.
Wala rami kabaw, sir, kay wala pa may nakasuway.
O mo kasuway?
Wala pa, sir.
Last semester actually naka 100% kog lockdown browser nga final exam. So kuan lang for the benefit of everyone. So katong wala kasuway og lockdown browser. So kuano kay there might be very questions ninyo ba with regards to lockdown browser. Number one, the main point nga nung mag-lockdown browser ko during major exams is to increase the integrity of the exam. I'm not assuming na kuan mo no, na nagkinopyahay mo, but it increases the credibility of something when you are locked down. Number two, if for example, kanang dili yun mo ganahan sa lockdown browser, pwede mo mag-install on the day of the exam, uninstall after your exam. I have no problems with that. Okay? And then as far as I know, only mga Apple nga iMac nga 2017 man siguro ang naay problem. Okay? So if you have a Mac 2017, MacBook Air 2017, do not use your Respondos lockdown browser using that one. There are issues with Mac 2017. Any more question? Wala ra? So, Kwan, what are your expectations on this class or on your teacher? Anybody? Para po we have an interactive nga klase ba kay laim sad kayong di ta mag-istorya no. Oh, what are your expectations?
I have a question, sir.
Yes.
Is there any chance that we have another way of um, like about the integrity of the exam, sir? Because we're just very worried about of having the respondus buzzer as a way of increasing the integrity of the exam. Kay mao mo ni problem pag last sem, sir, kay tungod sa mga issues bitaw, sir. Then of course we're worried nga kanya mong gadget mo ra jud nimong gamit for the whole class, and then if maguba pa ni, then isod kaayo.
Actually, naghatag to og memorandum si San Carlos, no? Na just in case you have any problems with regards to Respondus lockdown, you can contact the IT department for any help you need if na ay problems in yung PC, laptop, or computers. Okay?
But for your case, sir, wala kay other na way, other way from respondus.
In regards to Respondus, actually, there are many ways man good, pero ang ako alang point was, I am just trying to utilize something that is already available ba. Kay pwede ko ta mag-Google Meet ta while nag-exam ko, maginana, pero kuan siya, ang ako lang i-utilize what are the available resources nga available na, rather than using another resources nga kinahanglan pa nato additional bitaw nga effort. And then, but that time, it would take more data and then mas malangay hinuon niya mo ba? Did I answer your question?
Okay, sir.
Though major exams lang ta mag-respond sa no? Midterms and finals lang. So, kuan, as chemical engineers, ano ganing kinahanglan mo mag-engineering economy sa inyong klase, inyong curriculum? Why? Anybody? Ano mag-econ man mo? Why are you studying this course as part of your curriculum as a chemical engineer? Hello? Manawag ko ba? Kuan. Despi. Ni Cafe, why are you studying this course?
I think, sir, as an engineer, we are always um like we need to learn how to be efficient with things and materials that we have. So this will be a reasonable course for us, sir.
Okay. That's one good nga. Kuano, so, kung mingon mo efficiency, you are looking into the efficiency of your production, di ba? No? But, if your production is efficient, would it be cost efficient? Lain na siya nga kung ano. Kay, as engineers manggod, ang atong tanawon basically is efficiency sa linya. The production efficiency, our output, what is our yield, and etc. And then, kuan lang, you have basically many sources or resources, available materials that can be used in producing a certain product. So daghan kayo og daghan kay kag choices ba. So with that, I'll be starting our discussion on our module 1. Can you see my PowerPoint?
Yes, sir.
So module 1 is the introduction on engineering economy. So we have basically 3 topics to be discussed. Number 1 is the principles of engineering economics. Number 2, engineering economic analysis procedures. And number 3 is the cost concepts. First topic, the principles of engineering economics. So topic number 1. What is in economics? Anybody from the group? It is a social science that studies the production, distribution, and consumption of goods and services. It comes from the two Greek words, eco means home and nomos means account. Sa gali na, sir. So, economics is the study of scarcity and choice. Nganong scarcity and choice man? It finds way of reconciling with your unlimited wants with limited resources. As we all know, resources available right now are very limited, but ang atong gusto or our wants are way higher compared to resources. So it is a way of reconciling, mamit na nimo ang duha. So according to Wikipedia, engineering economics is a subset of economics that is concerned with the use and application of economic principles in the analysis of engineering decisions. So mao na siya ang key term for chemical engineers. When you go into the industry, what is your role as a chemical engineer? You'll have to make an engineering decision along the way. So, and it is also one of the most practical subject matters in the engineering curriculum. So, engineers, kamo, let's assume nga nang graduate na mo chemical engineer, pasar na mo sa board exam, nakatrabaho na mo. This is already one of your role when you go into your specific jobs, no? It is making an engineering economic decision. Why do you have to make a decision? So, unta din siya. It refers to any investment decision related to an engineering project. So, kamo naman mo i-design nga kung ano, klase, di ba? You have a design nga klase, no? Wala.
Padong pas.
Next semester, I think, mga third year or ngayon na siya. So, it is an economic decision that is most interest from an engineer's point of view is the evaluation of the cost and benefits associated with making a capital investment. So, kung sa'yo pasabot, anak, in one way or the other, your benefit should always be greater or equal than your cost. Anong greater and equal man, sir? So, if it is equal, basically, you have no loss and you have room to grow your profit. But it would be way better if your benefit outweighs your cost. So, there are three types of engineering economic decisions. Number one, making a capital expenditure. It is one of the engineer's priority tasks is to plan for the acquisition of equipments that will enable the firm to design and manufacture products economically. So, on your design, mag-design mo og planta, say for example, making a plant is a major capital expenditure. So, from the ground up, dapat maplano na nimo just to make sure na it is a good capital investment. Number two, a large-scale engineering economic decision. So, projects of this nature involves large sums of money invested over long periods of time. It is difficult to predict their market demand accurately. Kanang example was siguro is the milk tea business. I've been an advisor, thesis advisor of a milk tea thesis, no, regarding warehousing. And then as per data available at that time, on the year 2012, there is only one milk tea business ang usa ka company. And then coming into 2020, it doubles up to around 500%. daghan kayo. So, hana siya. Ngano mang nanaghan? Because the demand is kanang unpredictable man at the year 2012, but right now, dagko na silang demand. Number 3, impact of the engineering project on financial statements. So, kung maingon ka, if you have a project, at the end of the day, the business owners would look into your financial statements. Kay useless na siya if you are able to have having implemented a new project and then your cost increases times 3, no? So engineers must also understand the business environment in which a company's major business decisions are made. Number 2, it is important for an engineering project to generate profits, but the project also must strengthen the firm's overall financial position. Na siya. So, ang engineering process flow or planning flow, first is you have to go through with the planning. No? After your planning, you'll have to make your investment. You have to make your manufacturing, the selling, and then the profit. So, you can work into, ang chemical engineers, I think, can work into the planning portion in the manufacturing. Okay? So, you have a very big role when it comes to the industry. Because, ang tubag ganihan ni Kuan is will have to be efficient. And then, efficiency always comes with cost. So, the impact of engineering project on financial statement. So, ang impact niya, it's either you go higher, it would give you better financial results that will increase the revenue of the company. No? So, on this class, kanisa klase na to, you'll get to analyze financial statements, you'll get to know mga ratios para mas makasabot ka how to give a better decision when it comes to kuan. And then at the end of the day, your accounting and economic decisions should gain additional profit for the business. So, a typical decision-making process, there are only 4. So, kung ikaw, you only have, you try to think what is a decision-making process. Number 1 is step 1. You'll have to establish a goal or an objective. Naa ka dapat goal, naa ka dapat objective. And then, comes with the goal and the objective, you need to have a problem. Kay what is the use of having a goal or an objective kung wala di kay problema? Number 2, you select alternatives. So kung you select alternatives, you get to choose from 100 alternatives, you limit it into 3. So as engineer ka mo, by the time mo graduate mo, ayaw in taon mo og kanang mohatag mo defend mo something. Unya naamoy, so ma'am, sir, we have 100 alternatives on hand. That is not a good sign. Kaya nga, no? Having 100 alternatives is a waste of time. So try to shortlist. And as much as possible, you'll be trained along the way. You'll be trained to only limit your alternatives into 3. That is your step 2. Step 3 is knowing other opportunities. There might be opportunities nga wala nimo makita in your problem already. And then lastly is the decision-making process. After your opportunities, you'll have to make a decision. So, kana siya. But there is a 7-step decision-making process na mas clarified siya all throughout. And this is the engineering economic analysis procedure. Okay? Any question? Pas-pas ako or hinera? Am I too fast or am I too slow? Or just sakto lang? Anyone?
Doktora, sir.
So, these are the 7 steps, no, in an analysis procedure. Number 1 is the problem definition, formulation, and evaluation. So, kung makabantay mo, you will be trained sa inyong engineering na curriculum ba? How to define a problem. Kay, the problem definition is the most important portion for anything that you have to decide along the way. No? Kay, if, for example, naana mo na-implement but it is unable to resolve the problem, so basically, sayop imong nabuhat. Number 2 is the development of feasible alternatives. Number 3, development of cash flow for each alternative. Number 4, selection of a criterion or criteria. Number 5, analysis, comparison of alternatives. Number 6 is selecting the best alternative. So, nana diri imo ang gitawag nga, sir, we are able to implement the project. Congratulations! Nakapa-implement ng project, sir. But, number 7, performance evaluation and post-evaluation results should meet your goals. Mauna na ay last, number 7. So, your implementation nga, project implementation is not the last step of your process. You need to present results. Okay? So, problem definition. Problem must be understood and stated in an explicit form before the project team process with the rest of the analysis. So, it is very crucial because a problem clearly stated is already 50% solved. Nasolban na naman 50%. Because you are able to know the problem clearly. Claro. Number 2, development of feasible alternatives. It is searching for potential alternatives, screening them to select a smaller group of feasible alternatives. So out of 100 alternatives, you'll have to choose which is right and which is wrong na magamit nimo sa imuhang piece ng alternative yun, no? So, number 3 is a cash flow. What's the use of having an alternative kung wala kay cash flow? No? So, siguro inig panrabaho ninyo or when you go into working already as a chemical engineer, no? Ang inyong unang tanawon is efficiencies, and then when you go into having a project improvement, ang mahitabo na ana kay increase in efficiency or increase in production, but the cost does not coincide with your efficiencies kay lahi nga material. So, it is very crucial na you have to develop outcomes and cash flows for each of those alternatives. No? This is a comparison between Globe and Smart nga kanang Samsung Note 10 plans ba. Kaya naay mong gitan-aw diri imong cost. Your total expense is 80,000 for Globe, 84,000 for Smart. But your benefits, which is better, okay? Since your benefit kanang dili man nimo ma-outweigh ang imong benefit kay kaning call and text and etc., you'll have to compute it manually each portion of the benefit. Selection of a criteria or a criterion. So, one, if a problem involves a fixed input, then your appropriate criteria should be to maximize your output. And if a problem involves a fixed output, your criteria is to minimize input. Looking into having a decision of out of 3 alternatives, you should have different criteria with different weights. Why? there might be some criteria nga better si option 1 and option 3 compared to option 2. But getting the overall score with all of the criteria, option 2 would be the best. But based on the example, option 3 is the best decision for implementation. Analysis and comparison. So, with the analysis and comparison, kung maingon ka analysis and comparison sa diri nga part, nag-analyze ka diri, say for example, diri kay yield, diri kay efficiency, diri kay output, diri kay input raw mats, and etc. But you'll have to analyze it on a perspective on the business side, no? Mag-analyze ka based on present worth, annual cost, rate of return, when you compare your alternatives, no? So, imo siyang i-compare on a value nga or in terms of money. Di ba, engineer, kamo, gi-claim na ninyo nga engineer mo, ini-graduate ninyo, dili. Hello? Wala pa ninyo nag-claim? Hello?
Slightless.
Ha? Oo, yan, nag-claim. Kadungan ng graduating na mo ba? So, for engineers or for all of you, what is expected gikan ninyo every time you make a decision? You'll have to provide man. Anyone? Every time the company needs a decision, unsa i-provide ninyo? Hello? Anyone? Wala. So yun, kaya na, pirmi na ninyo sugaton. Pagsugod pa lang ninyo enroll sa chemical engineering. You'll have to decide based on unsa man na? Numbers. Every time you make a decision, you'll have to give them numbers. Maingon gani kag, sir, mo increase atong income ani sir, pero ako kabaw pila. O the company even recognize what you are saying? Yes or no? Hello?
No.
No, sir.
Oh, sir.
Every time you make a decision, always go with numbers. Kay ang ako mabantayan for some of the new graduates magud karon, no? Confident but they cannot provide the numbers needed. So, in as much as possible, every time you show something to the management, you provide something, always give them numbers. Okay? So, there is nga part sa kaning analysis and comparison. Kung imong tan-awon ang akong alternative nga makahatag og pinakadindot nga benefits is the alternative 3. But that will not be my decision because the cost is way higher compared to the other alternatives. Sakto? So this is what we call as the discussion on present worth and annual cost on our module 5. We will be discussing that one. Kaya nga ikuan lang ni siya. Example. So selection. So after all of those alternatives, you'll get to select the best one, no? And then, don't consider any alternative as a perfect solution kay if there were, what kay problema nga isang ubang, no? And then, consider your intuition or inner feelings in deciding on a course of the action. Say, for example, you are working on this project 90% of the time. So, you very well know what would happen kay naamang kay statistics. So you could decide based on your intuition. But if you're working on this project, 5% of the time unya nag-decide ka based on intuition, that is very wrong because wala ka kibag unsay may tabo sa project. And then return to your outsider. Is there something you missed? Kinsa man ning outsider class? Mao ni inyong mga hello. Kinsa man nawag ko ba? Si Ruiz, Krisa Kate Ruiz. Kinsa man ning mga outsiders?
Workmates, sir, or advisors.
Mao ni siya imong mga critics, no? Wala say kung if you have a group of friends nya mo pass ka ay mo friends mao ni akong assignment friends tanawa daw sakto ba friends ni minsan sus kasakto ana friend oy wag gyud kay sayop so ayo na sila pili nga friends kay dili nila i-criticize ang imong output so you get to criticize dapat no kay para every time you receive criticism man good on your output you get to be better no. So it should be kuan lang, healthy competition. Kuan na siya. And also lastly, when you select a best alternative, it is always a compromise. So performance evaluation. So it is defined as the formal and productive procedure to measure the firm's action and it is based on results. Kato imong step 1 to step 6, ikaw rin nagbut-buot adto. Ini-present nimo sa management ang imong ipakita sa management kanirang results. So, because when you talk into the management, sir, we need to invest 1 million. It will give us additional income of 10 million. No problem. Proceed with the project. Inana na siya. But sir, we need to invest 10 million. Our result is only 1 million. X din na siya. Okay? So, it is very crucial sad when you need to have a project na implemented ba. Na ka dapat initial evaluation results. So, the fundamentals of our class or in our discussions for the modules, we have only 4 fundamentals. Number 1 is time. The time value of money, which is your module 1. Differential, this is your module 5 and 6. Marginal, module 5 and 6. And trade-offs is still module 5 and 6. So, asa man ning module 2, 3, o 4, sir? Ang imong 2, 3, o 4, mauna itong focusan diri. Kana siya sa imuhang time value of money. So, the time value of money, an earlier dollar is worth more than a later dollar. No? So, in engineering economics, money has a time value associated with it because we can earn interest on money received today. According to Albert Einstein, the most powerful force in the universe is compound interest. So, difference between differential cost and revenue. So, if the difference in cost between two alternatives are known, that is what you call as a differential cost. So, when you compare two alternatives based on cost, dapat ang tawag naman na differential cost. But if you compare two alternatives based on profit or revenue, that is differential revenues. Okay? So, dili ka pwede mag-compare. Alternative 1 is cost, alternative 2 is profit. That is very wrong. You are not comparing an apple to an apple. Number 4, for marginal cost and revenue. So marginal cost, when it comes to volume, it is every time you change a value of your, mag-add kag 10,000 units for production. Say for example, this is 100K and this is 100K. So if there is an additional volume of 10,000, what could be your cost per unit ng additional? Ano man? This is because you have fixed cost associated for your equipments and you have variable cost. This will be discussed also in our module 5 for BEP or break-even point. Marang makibaw kas marginal cost and revenues. So trade-off between risk and reward. So additional risk, ano ni ha? Additional risk is not taken without additional return. Example, nag-invest ko 10,000. Ang akong benefit is, kung mapildi ko, pildi kong 10,000. Pero if goes higher, it could be 20,000. But if mag-invest kong 50,000, malose kong 50,000, pero akong benefit 20,000 yapon. That is very wrong. The higher the risk, the higher should be the reward. Okay? Na siya. Cost concepts or last topic. So, engineers, these are the 5 very decisions you make when you go into the industry. Number 1, it's either you choose or select or you choose an equipment or select a process. So you decide based on an equipment or a process selection. Number 2, you compute or you decide based on an equipment replacement. Number 3 is a new product or product expansion. Number 4, cost reduction. And number 5 is improvement in service quality. These are the 5 main types of engineering economic decisions. Siya. So what is an equipment or a process selection? It involves selecting the best course of action or alternative whether there are several ways to meet a project's requirement. So out of having 0 equipments, you get to choose 1 or 2. You have many alternatives. Mao na siya inyong project. Okay? Equipment replacement. This category involves investment decision wherein you have to consider replacing a worn out or obsolete equipment. Nga naman, sir, why do you need to replace your equipments? Example is naa kay aircon that is already in your house for 10 years. And if makabantay mo every time you need to repair the aircon, it would be more costly nga, no? Because parts and maintenance are critical the longer the year of life cycle for the product. So purchasing products or using a new one would give you lesser cost on maintenance and parts. Okay? New product or product expansion. So investments in this category are those that would increase profits of a company. Or common types. Number 2, increase the output of the existing production or produce a new product. So, 2-way. It's either you increase the output, padakan mo ang bago nga planta, or mag-produce kag bago nga produkto. 4th, cost reduction is the reduction of the firm's operating cost. So, pwede ka mag-project. So, for most companies, as far as I know, like for example, Timex, they make or buy decisions, no? Nga, kinanglan ba ni siya nga part, kitay mo produce, i-in-house na to, kay para if malangay sa supplier, di ma-hamper atong linya. And would it be a better decision? Nana siya. So, it is either an in-house solution or outsourcing because right now, you can buy anything in China. No. So, those decisions would require. So, kung mayon kag make, you have to an in-house production, basically it has higher cost but less production, no? But kung mag-buy ka, lower imong cost pero more imong production. But makasave ka aning mga 40%. Kano siya for this type of problem, no? But for some companies right now, na ay certain raw materials that needs to be in-house to ensure the consistency of production and improvement in service quality. So this includes activity to support the improvement of productivity, quality, and customer satisfaction in the service sector, such as in the financial, healthcare, and retail industry. Why do we need to improve our service? Anyone? Hello? Why do we need to improve our service in a class? Nawag tabi. Kent Landa, ngano ganing kinahanglan nato i-improve atong service?
To maybe sir to increase customer satisfaction, sir.
Increase customer satisfaction. Ngano kinahanglan na nato increase atong customer satisfaction? Ngano man? Ito taglain. Nawag tanikwan. Pilayo, ngano i-increase nato atong customer satisfaction?
In basic sense, sir, if ever may increase ang customer satisfaction or simply masatisfy ang customer, pwede mo balik ang customer sa service. Like, for example, kailangan siya sa cut sayang hair, so balik ka po siya sa store.
So that is what you call as a brand loyalty, no? No? So, loyalty to the business or to your product promotes better profits. Dili gani na satisfied imong customer sa imong service, mangita gina siya lain. So, instead of increasing your profit, that will drive down so your income, no? So, the main goal of the customer is sila ang bread and butter for any business, no? So we always look into what is their need. So I am a Lean Six Sigma nga trained nga kuno. So nagin may gitawag nga VOC. Kanang VOC mo na mong permi gamiton every time we try to improve something, na we always look into the voice of the customer. Mao gid na siya ang amo ang tan-awon what is their need. So say for example, pizza delivery, maingon ang customer always late. Kano sa ka maingon nga di late, ma'am? Dapat 30 minutes upon placing my order. Di na late, kumasud na siya 30 minutes, di na late. So ana siya. Mao na among basis. Because we plan based on our customers' requirements. So there are only two factors in any investment project. Number one is time. And number two is uncertainty. We are done with our discussion. Questions, anybody? Any question?
Wala, sir.
So,
I have questions, sir.
yes.
Regarding sa San Miguel, sir, ba, knowing that San Miguel kay grabe expense nila sa COVID, like, dahil kayo sila gipang provide for the frontliners. Kato bang mga kwarta nilang gipang donate sir, provide service? Are the extra dapat nila ng kwarta or part ito sila ang budget?
I think it falls down into the kanabitaw sa namagunay siya foundation. Hello?
Part sila ang foundation budget, sir.
Nana sa foundation. So, ang foundation na makuan. So, and then when you look at it, actually, majority of the contributions in San Miguel is produced by San Miguel. part of cost gyapon to siya namo. But it will go into the foundation. Pero ang ga-produce si San Miguel, they are not purchasing outside na siya. Katong alcohol that is produced by Ginebra, katong pan na to siguro, katong pan nga gi-distribute foods that is produced by Pure Foods and San Miguel Foods. No? So, it is going back to the community. That is one of our values is giving back to the community, especially at these times. No? Do listen gyud noon to, pero dako yun to cost, pero decision na to sa mong boss. It is he promotes kanang giving back to the community when it needs ba. Any more question? Why pangutana regarding sa topic? Why problem? Anybody from the group are scholars? Why scholar dire?
Scholar ko, sir.
Sir.
What is your scholarship? So for the budgeting, I think the budget falls in finance, the national. So it does not go down to every brewery. I'm working in the brewery, manggod. And then ang kanang investments ay kanang mga gipanghatag sa foundation it naana sa SMC group yun. And then I'm working in the brewery. Oh, kinsa ganitong scholars? What is your scholarship?
Vixal Foundation, sir.
Maintaining grade.
2.5 per subject, sir niya. 2.0 sa average.
2.0 ang sana general ad na? General average.
Yes, sir.
Kaya ra. Okay, sa to nag-raise hand si Pumar. You have the floor. Sana DSOT? DSOT or DOST? DOST, okay. Okay ra, pila kayo maintaining grade sa DOST? 2.5 man siguro. Actually, I met Ched Scholar during my college years. Sa IE pa ko, Ched Scholar, mag for 5 years. Pero okay. Anybody from the group are working students? Si Nika, kay Vixal. Oh, that's good. So you have to maintain your grades, no? Ay helpful gina siya at these times. Ako gina siya help. Also, you'll have to be competitive, kay when you go into the industry, it is an additional badge pa na you're a scholar during your college years. Then, kinsa na ay working students. Anybody? Walay working? So that's good. So I'm assuming that dili ko magka-problema for some students on this kay wala may kay working. So at least you get to focus on your subjects, no? Pila inyong subjects karon ng semester or summer? Kanira or you have
Tulo, sir.
Tolo? What are the other two?
CAD o technopreneurship.
Okay ra. So kanira more on numbers, numero. So lang starting on our module 2 until module 6. Sige ra tag solve, no? So you get to solve as much as possible. So naka-join na ba tanan sa Canvas na class? Naka-join na? I look sa Canvas ha. People. Si Kitch, mag-check sa kong attendance. Naana si Botalid. Botalid, are you here? Si Kitchon, kita na ako si Kitchon. Omar nangutana. Turing and Yepes, are you here? Wala? Yes, Nana, Emia. Nasa Emia? So I'll check sa inyo hangko na if naka-accept na ba tan. So wala pa nakadawat si Turing. It's not yet accepted invitation for the class. So assuming that all of you are able to access the Canvas na published nga class. Did you see your assignments?
Yes, sir.
So, kuan, we will have only 4 sets of assignments. Your assignment would start on Module 2. So, Module 2, assignment. Module 3, assignment. Module 4, assignment. And Module 5. We will not have any assignment on Module 6. So, 4 na siya assignments. We'll have 4 module quizad. You'll have module 2, 3, 4, and 5 sa module quiz. The rest ana is midterms and finals. So, given that circumstances, the computation of your grades is limited into only 10 activities. Sakto? So, try to answer it and pass on time. Also, kalimot ko da kanang assignment number 1 is already up and available. Submission deadline is Saturday next week. So I have a question. Do you want a 3-hour class one time, or we will have 2 1.5-hour class every week? Hello? 1 or 2? Ang requirement man good is a minimum of 3 art class na every week, no? So, basically, I'll be giving you solutions and etc. discussions. So, ang ako is, does the group want nga 3 hours ta straight, Saturday, straight, or duha ta kaadlaw o niya? Yeah, let's say TTH niya. TTH ta mag-discuss 1.5, 1.5. Mas better siguro, no? Twice a week ta mag-meet.
Yes, sir, para ma-free sa Saturday.
So Saturdays will be your murag usually on Saturdays I'll be giving you mga module quiz, ara na mo up ang inyong mga assignments. Also, for your assignment, kindly submit on a clean sheet of paper bitaw. Pero dili clean ninyo ipasa adto mo magsuwat mo. Though actually mas nindot man gyud Excel, but I would like the group to have it handwritten, at least to make sure nga you get to kanang masud sa inyong ulo or masud sa inyong short term or long term memory ba. Kaya every time we write something, there is a portion of it that goes into our head rather at typing it on an Excel format. Okay?
Sir?
And then submit a PDF file. O sa to mo, Froilan?
Sir, kanang dili ra need nga i-copy ang questions or sa
No need ra. Lang i-go through lang sa katong number 1 nga ABC para clearly lang po na ako ma-follow bitaw. Ay lang po kanang number 1 diri, number 2 na napos laing page para
Okay, sir. Okay, sir, thank you.
Any more question from the group?
When man lang ang module 2 sa Canvas, sir?
I'll be opening, ako i-open ang module 2 sa Canvas. Okay, mo-open siya supposedly this coming 28. Ako lang i-open today. Okay. It's now open. So makakita na mas module to karon on your Canvas siguro. Questions pa? So kuan na ayaw mo kauwaw mangutana nga mahadlok ba mo, so don't hesitate to ask me questions kay kuan kung kaya nako tumagon ako ra gyud ang tumagon. Okay? Clarification, wala may gusto i-clarify? Ay, passing percentage di ay. Passing percentage is 70%. Is equivalent to 3.0 ha. Okay ra mo ana. That is on your syllabus. Okay ra? No more question? Hello?
Wala, sir.
Sure ha? And then I look into your syllabus. Okay. So next week on Saturday will be your module 1 or module 2 nga quiz. Ay, kande mangutana rin ko. When would you like to have your module quizzes? Sundays or Monday? Kanang nakatuon mo. Say for example, makatuon mo. What is your preferable date of your module quiz? Or Saturdays na lang. Dito mag-meet niya mag-module quiz mo every Saturday. Ox? Why Kwan? No comments? So, assuming na ako na lang magbuot, maklaro na pa ninyo, class. Ako rin buot, ha? Okay, ra, sir. Thank you. So, if you have no more questions, I'll stop recording. And I'll be